Hey, everybody. We are back in the Joey Moss Suite here at Commonwealth Stadium for another episode of Antler Up. Looking for win number 1. The Elks will host the Toronto Argonauts on Sunday afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium. It's a 5 o'clock start. You can watch it on TSN. You can also hear it on 6:30 CHED, or you can be here for the game. Head to goelks.com for all your ticket information. Before we bring in this week's guest, a reminder, like, subscribe, and share Antler Up. You can also leave us a comment on whatever platform you're listening on. Let us know what you think and maybe who you want to hear from on future episodes of Antler Up. This week on the show, we're going to the defensive line.
Throw, somebody gets their hand up and knocks that one down. I think it was the big frying pan-sized hand of Pelley that came up and knocked that one to the turf.
Antler Up, episode 23. Pelley, let's go.
Touchdown, Antler Up, Edmonton, touchdown Elks. Taylor Cornelius kicks it himself as he got an open lane to the end zone. Antler Up, Edmonton, touchdown Elks.
What's the J stand for?
Man, I've been asked this quite a bit. I have no clue. I guess my mom, I guess my mom just wanted to be unique. Jay was what I thought my name should have been. But I mean, hey, J-M-I-N, we'll live with it. So nothing.
So it doesn't stand for anything. It stands for J.
It stands for J-Min. Yeah.
Nice. Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have a few. So parents are separated. I got 4 on my mom's side and then 2 on my dad's side. So.
Any of them have initials for their names?
No, I'm the only one. But I do actually have a new set of twins in my family. That's through my aunt, and she decided to go with dashes in there, with hyphenated names.
Yeah.
So. They're starting to come in our family now.
So do you get J or J-Min?
I get J-Min. I get Jimin. I get Jimin quite a bit. That's probably the most common one would be Jimin. But I do get J here and there. More people who know me more personally will call me J. So. Yeah, it's kind of a mix and match. It's whatever anyone's feeling at the time. So.
And it doesn't matter to you?
No.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah. Hey, especially not for dinner. Yeah. No, I need that food. So yeah, no, it doesn't matter to me. Lately, this year I've been getting Pelley a lot. Just Pelley. I've never been a last name nickname guy, but I guess it's coming in this year, so it's not bad.
You can't control your nicknames, right?
No, not at all.
And if you do, you're trying too hard. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't even remember my nickname last year. It was what was it? Jones made it. It was this is gonna stump me now. Oh, it was some sort of food. It was like chicken nugget or something like that. Yeah, he called me some sort of food. Jonesy, yeah.
All right. Well, we're here for the next half hour, so if you remember, and just shout it out. Born in Calgary. You grew up there too, right? Spent most of your life there?
Yep. Yeah.
Always an athlete?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been in football since I was 5. And then I went through a period where I thought I was going to be in the NBA. So I tried to take the basketball route. And then, I just found that I got too heavy. It's too hard to keep going up and down the court so much. So
I was looking at your high school. McNally?
Yeah, Bishop McNally.
Bishop McNally in football, basketball, rugby, and track.
Yes.
I'm interested to know what track you participated in.
Shot put and discus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
nothing
now
running.
it all makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
nothing running.
Yeah, you've obviously always been a big guy, right? You've always been bigger than most.
You know what? Actually, going into grade 10, I was probably like 220. I wasn't very big at all.
Mm-hmm.
That was my basketball year. I really thought I was going to go to the NBA. I was very, very slim for who I am. Absolutely.
So you're a pretty good basketball player then, obviously.
Yeah. Well, that came along with the school kind of. It grew up with my friends. I lived in a basketball area of the city. And then my high school actually, so the 3 years that I was in high school, both senior and junior, we won Division I championships, so the top of cities. And then 3 years out of high school, consecutive years that they won cities. So they've won 6 years in a row, and then they're a big basketball school.
So did you get recruited basketball-wise or just football?
A lot of people thought I did because during my recruiting in high school, I actually signed to Carleton University down in Ottawa, and they have a really good basketball program. So when I signed there, a lot of people thought it was for basketball as well. But no, unfortunately, I didn't get scouted for basketball. But hey, it all turned around. So I'm not too worried about it anyway.
You ever play hockey?
Hockey? Oh yeah. I I'm big on hockey. Being a Canadian guy, it's one of the things I'm passionate about. It's more of a hobby now than I look at it as a sport. I get to the ODR. There's actually a fan on Twitter that I've gone and played at the ODR.
I saw something
yeah,
about
that's
that.
Scout,
Yeah.
rep from Section X.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
and him, we went
The
over
Elks
to
herd guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to what was that, Castle Downs? They have like a little sheet of ice out there.
Yeah.
Went and played some ODR out there. Yeah, it was good. And then I think I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I think they're trying to look into something with the Oil Kings. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So you play it? Are you a fan too? Do you watch it?
I used to be very, very big into it when I was young. I used to be a big Ovechkin fan. I used to have, I think, 3 jerseys of his.
Yeah.
Big fan of Ovi. So not as much anymore. I'm trying to now and then when the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup runs, for sure I'm all over it. But I don't keep up too much now. No.
All right, you said you signed, committed to Carleton, but then ended up going to the University of Calgary. How'd that happen? And I guess, was it Calgary just to stay at home?
Yeah. So I actually I signed to Carleton I think it was grade 11 and grade 12. So I signed my LOI for my first year out of school. In grade 11, I signed to Carleton. And I was honestly, they have a program there. Their football program was newer when I was coming out of high school. So they were revamped, I believe, in like 2015 or something like that, maybe 2014. And I was coming out 2016. So they're a new program and they're doing pretty well. And then they also had some extracurricular help, you could say. Like it was out of school tutoring for me that was really pursuing me to go there. That they had a lot of offers. They offered a lot of help. But right when I was about to leave to go to Carleton for my first year, that's when I found out I was gonna have my first baby. So I couldn't pull the trigger on that, and I decided just to stay in Calgary. And then I played with the Calgary Colts for 2 more years, and then I went to Kelowna for the Okanagan Sun for the 1 year. And then I just decided in 2019 it was time to go to school and stayed in home because I had family and stuff. So
you're into the University of Calgary. What are you taking?
Open studies, I honestly,
You're taking football, aren't you?
I'm taking football. It's not the message I want to convey, but I'm not a school guy. There's some guys that are school guys. I'm not a school guy myself, so I was trying my best, and I had my second daughter 5 days before going into main camp for UFC, so that was going into a full month of 2-a-days, and I had my second daughter 5 days before, so it was going to be stressful no matter what. So we weren't looking too far into the future on that one. We were just there for the one season.
So you said you've been playing football since you're 5.
Yeah.
So you've had your fill: minor football, junior football, university football, now Canadian Football League. So you've really grown up football-wise in the system.
Oh yeah, and especially all in Alberta. That's like, I think I had 1 year that I didn't play in Alberta, and that was 2018 when I was in Kelowna. But everything other than that, every single team I played for has been, an Alberta team.
And you got a Vanier Cup.
And I have a Vanier Cup. Yeah, that's
2019, right?
Yeah, that was a great one.
Tell me about that team.
Well, what can I say? I think 22 out of 24 offensive defensive starters. I think 22 out of 24 are in the CFL right now. I don't know. There's not much you can say other than that. Like we were really good. That year, I think we lost maybe 2 games out of, I think it might have been 11 or 12. And we were lights out. We were really, really good. I don't know how to say it. We had the Philpott twins. We had Jester Nantwi, who's now in Montreal, and then half of our O-line. Like I think we're going against Peter Nicastro this week. He's with Toronto. Yeah. There's a bunch of guys that we had that are.
Calgary's produced a lot of players. I think more than any other team in the West. Anyway, I would think.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's them and Laval that are the top 2. Yeah. I think maybe Western now, but I think Calgary still is the number 1 team that has produced.
What's
pros.
different there? Why are they so successful in your mind?
The culture. I think it's what they built since 1998 or 95. I think it was. That was our last Vanier, and I think that's when Harris and who was it back then? Oh, he's the coach for UBC now. Coach Nil. Yeah. When Nil and Coach Harris took over, it was a real culture change. And I think that's due to what the coaches have built there. They've built like a really good legacy program. A lot of the alumni are very, very deeply rooted into the team. A lot of them go back for spring camp, main camp, stuff like that. So I think that's just a big part of it is just culture. That's all I can say, really.
Coaches at the university level, they're so important. I mean, like you said, they set the culture, and they're there for a long time in most cases, right?
Yeah.
It's not like pro football where most teams turn it over, some often than others. Usually every 3 or 4 years there seems to be everybody turns their head coach over. But in college football, it's all about the coach. And he sets the culture, he recruits the players, and he's the guy in charge.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. There's a guy with the University of Calgary that I pretty much owe it all to. His name's Matthew Barry. When I was there, he was our defensive coordinator. I think he actually got a promotion into the assistant head coach now. So he's been there since I don't want to put a time frame on it, but he's been there as long as I can remember. I remember being in grade 8 or grade 9, and he was at some of our we call it midget. That was like our spring football league just outside of school. Yeah, that was that was a big thing for recruiting in Calgary, and he's very visible in that league. Like they're very in touch with amateur football in Calgary, especially. That's what I could say to the coaches. It's all about the culture and building around the team for sure.
Yeah, and you see that, like you say, Calgary and Laval are probably the best two examples of that in Canada West and CIAU for sure. U Sports, sorry, I correct myself. O-line and D-line, or just
D-line.
Just D-line in college. But you played some running back, though, right?
Yeah, running back. Yeah. So, in college, just strictly D-line. But yeah, I was the short yardage fullback, and I actually got a touchdown.
Nice.
I got a 1-yard touchdown.
Tell me about it.
The greatest experience of my life. It's just straight down the middle. Is an A-gap run right down. I got the handoff maybe 3 yards behind the line, so I only had to run maybe 4 yards. And yeah, there was I think maybe like 160-pound soaking wet DB that was waiting for me on the goal line. He didn't have a chance. No, I think he just dropped. Yeah, I think he fell down. Yeah, he didn't do too much.
Have you showed the tape to Chris Jones?
They've seen it. They've seen it. They, you know what? Funny enough, our last home game, they had it up on the jumbo screen. Yeah. They had.
And you've been out this year. You've been out in the short yardage situation.
Yeah. So now, after that SAS game, we've made some corrections, and we got some of the defensive linemen out on the front gate.
That must be kind of cool for a D lineman to get that call to go in. It must get the blood flowing a little bit.
Oh yeah. It's a chance to do something that's been going on to you the whole game. You know what I mean? You're now the hammer, not the nail, and sort of say coming off the O-line. Now you're not trying to pick up those blocks and hold the point of attack. Now you're attacking and trying to push the ball forward for sure. So it definitely gets the blood flowing for sure.
You're listed 6'5", 330 pounds. 330. How accurate is that?
The height's pretty bang on.
That's what I tell people too.
Yeah, the height's pretty bang on. You know what? I would say that's pretty accurate. I float around 330, 340. Last year though, I was definitely bigger than I was now. I think I was sitting around 350 last year.
Yeah, you played at a pretty high weight though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the highest I played at was in the Vanny Cup, and I was 405. 405.
I'm sorry, what?
405 pounds.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was heavy man.
Yeah, that's a big. You're a big man. No wonder they put you in a short yardage.
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah. No. Yeah. 405, and honestly, in the Vanier, I played pretty well at that weight. Like it wasn't like I didn't play like I was 405.
There's a difference between your 330 or your 405 and a non-athlete, right?
Yeah.
You're working out every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of it's muscle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would say maybe not so much on the 405. I don't know how much of it was muscle. I think I had iced tea flowing through my veins during those times. I was big on the iced tea, so yeah, I don't know how much of it was muscle.
I'm guessing it was sweetened.
Very much so. Very much so.
That's obviously we don't want to get into too much, but 405, that's not healthy. Like
not healthy. No, I wouldn't say it was healthy, but I felt healthy. I didn't feel unhealthy.
Long term, not healthy.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's Those the joints were calling. They were hurting those knees and the.
How much do you go down in the off season?
It depends. This year, honestly, a lot of what my coaches and like people who are close to me and know pro football, what they've told me is that 330 is where I should probably stay and just try and change what it looks like on me. You know, just try and lose. I'm still a little pudgy on some edges in here or there, so
Shift it around a little bit.
Yeah, trying to shape it out. You know, but essentially I do want to keep, you know, that 330, maybe lose 10 pounds if so. Yeah. But I think right now I'm doing all right.
You have kind of an interesting story when you look at the draft, the CFL draft and the NFL draft, which happened in 2023. First, let's talk about the CFL draft. Because of your situation with your family and everything, you're out of football, right? For a bit.
Yeah. So essentially what happened was after the Vanier, we had the COVID year, and with that year we were in school for the full year, and that was in 2020, and we had like a 6-week camp kind of deal where we did like a full 6-week every day we had practices, and that was kind of our season for 2020. So I was in school during 2020, so I didn't do just the 2019 year. I would have done the 2020 year had COVID not happened, but then after 2020, that's when I had too much on my plate. I had 2 kids, you know, I was trying to provide for them, so you know, school was kind of it was almost like school was in the way of like me holding down my life.
Dad's got to have a job, right?
yeah, you know, so it ultimately just came to where I had to leave school, and then by doing that I was too old for junior, so it's kind of what next.
So in 22 you basically had nowhere to play, right?
Yeah, at 21 I had nowhere to play. 21, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, 21 I had nowhere to play. I was out. 2020
right.
2020 I had the COVID year, and then 21 was the first year where like it was actually we were playing while COVID was on, whatever, where they had all the rules and whatnot. And that was the year I actually sat out. So I should have been with U of C, but I was sitting out that year. You know, it was weird. Yeah, so prior to getting drafted in 2022 through the supplemental, the last time I played football would have been the Vanier Cup.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like an actual
couple
game.
years before that.
Yeah, 3 years.
So your draft year was 23.
23, yeah.
But you weren't going to be playing football till then, so you got into the supplemental draft. You had to get permission, though, right?
Yeah.
You had to petition the league?
Yeah, so, essentially what I had to do is I had to write an email, just kind of stating my story. I have kids. You know, school's not really something that's, you know, doable for me. And, you know, they understood. The league's very, very understanding from my point of view. And then, during the combine, when they had it here for 2022, they had the regional combine here at Commonwealth. And I came down and talked to a bunch of league execs and then got it sorted out then. Met with Jones. That was my first time face-to-face meeting with him. And it was a good experience.
And then he went in the supplemental draft last year. How did you have a feeling where you're going to go? I mean, everyone thought, well, Edmonton's they got the power, right? Because they're at they're last place. They had the first overall pick. They get the first overall pick in the supplemental draft. So and ended up giving up a second rounder to drafting the supplemental draft.
Yeah.
So, but you knew it was coming, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like no, I don't want to sound like that guy, but like I knew I was going somewhere. Like, it was pretty evident that I was going somewhere. I was going to be playing. I would say I'd put it as like 85%. I knew I was coming here.
Yeah.
Coach Jones was pretty open from the beginning when I first met him that he was kind of he liked me. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he made it pretty clear that he liked me and he wanted me. So I had a good feeling, and you know. Talking to him, it was a mutual thing too. He wanted to make sure, given my situation, that he wasn't just pulling a kid from his home and like giving me no resources. He wanted to make sure that like my family would be good, my kids would be good, and you know what? It's just down the road, so like it was almost like the perfect scenario. So it was really good.
Okay, so that's a CFL story. NFL draft. You were eligible this last draft in April, right?
Yeah.
You did not get selected, which doesn't mean it's the end of the road in the NFL, obviously. But that's kind of a weird situation. The guy's got a year of pro football under his belt, and he's eligible for the NFL draft after that.
Yeah, no, it was a unique circumstance, but that's something that me and my agent, you know, we talked about, and we knew this like probably a year prior to it actually happening that I would be going into the NFL draft. It's just one of those things where I didn't try and get into the supplemental NFL draft last year. So then my clock for the NFL stayed with 2023, where when I got into the supplemental, it went into 2022. But with that being said, yeah, you know what, like it was quite an experience, talking to coaches and they were watching my pro film, and it was definitely, you could hear from them that it was a unique experience for them too, because they weren't just grading some Div 1.
It's not apples and oranges anymore. You're apples and apples now.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So that was a cool experience, and it also brought a lot to my game, and that last year it was definitely a learning curve for me, and I felt like it was good, and some of those coaches down south thought so as well.
So you've obviously had lots of contact with NFL teams, and
yeah,
you'll play that out when the season's over.
Yeah. That's more of I have that window now in January where I didn't have it last year, but it's exciting, but it's still very far away.
Yeah. Right now you're all Elks.
Oh
obviously.
yeah, no, and big
tell
time.
me about the tough start to the season. Defense is playing pretty well. Offense is having its struggles, but it's a team game, right? Everybody's got to be going at the same time. Just give me your thoughts through 2 games, how things are going.
Personally, I think it's going. That's what I'll say. As for my side of the ball and my position, I think we're doing really well. 2 touchdowns in 2 games against 2 pretty high level offenses is pretty well a good job in my books. And as the team, as we progress through the season, I do see during practice we're coming together as a team, and both sides of the ball are definitely picking up their stuff. And that third leg, with that being special teams, that's definitely coming together a lot more. And that was a big thing last year that we were really, really, really trying to work on was special teams, because we knew that was kind of an area where we were kind of lacking in. Yeah. So a lot of the guys are definitely locking in more so on the special teams, and it's starting to pay dividends, especially in practice. But yeah, it's been a slow and rough start, but we're getting there.
It's a long season, right?
Very
You're only
long.
2 games in. There's a long way to go, but everybody's got to play better for sure moving forward. O-line and D-line. You, as I recall, at training camp last year, you were O-line for pretty much all of camp, right?
All of camp, yep.
And then it just flipped on a dime, right?
Yeah.
First off, how'd you feel about, you come to camp, you've been a D-lineman in your college career, you come to camp, you get drafted as a D-lineman, you come to camp, and you're on the O-line side.
This is a story I don't try and tell, but I do tell some people. It was hard for me. It was a hard pill to swallow. And that's me being me. If I'm being honest, coming into camp, I went into the defensive locker room, because in camp we're separated offense and defense because there's too many guys, right? Mm-hmm. We're not in the big veteran locker room. So I was in rookie camp. And I went into the defensive side of the room, and I was trying to find my locker, and I couldn't find my name to save my life. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go ask the equipment guy. So I went over to Dan, and I was like, hey man, I'm having trouble finding my locker. Do you know where it is? And he was like, yeah, you're in the offensive locker room. I thought it was weird too, but I guess that's where you are. And that's how I found out. So it was pretty tough. And
so you weren't consulted, eh?
No, not at all. But hey, it honestly put me on my toes, and it made me work that much harder, because it was something that they just expected of me, and that's something I expected myself to do what I'm asked, right? So, it was just putting my nose down and getting to work. At the end of the day, it's football, and I feel like I'm a football player. I'm not a defensive line player. I'm a football player. So, if there's a spot on the field, I feel like I could play it. So.
And then all of a sudden, you're a defensive lineman.
Yeah, within 5 minutes.
All of a sudden.
Within 5 minutes. So a lot of people don't know this story either. Was my first defensive reps as an Edmonton Elk. It came in the preseason game, the first preseason game last year. Yeah, so we had a defensive tackle, Christian Rector. Rector. Yep. Yeah, he went down with a calf cramp in warm-ups of the Winnipeg game. In warm-ups, and I was warming up as an offensive lineman, and then the coaches come up to me and they say, hey, you're going to be playing defense this game. And that's how
You're gotta be kidding me.
I'm not joking. That is 100, and it was 5 minutes before kickoff, and they were saying you are going to be playing D-line. And I looked to D Maxey, and I was like, Coach, what are the plays? I don't know any of the plays. He's like, don't worry about it, just rush and just go up the field and just do what you do. Yep. Yeah. And that's what I did. And I honestly, in that game, I did pretty well too. For my first game, I did pretty well. And the rest has been history.
And you never went back, right?
I did go back. I didn't go back to D-line.
Oh,
No. After the Winnipeg game, right back to. I thought I was going to be on D-line. Yeah, I was like,
I showed them.
I was
eh?
like, yeah, here we go. I'm back on the D-line. And then I showed up to practice day one after the game, and my locker was still the same in the white jersey. And I did that for all of camp again. I was practicing the whole entire week leading up to the Calgary game, practicing O-line, and then day of the game, D-line again.
Yeah.
Same exact thing, and I didn't know the plays or anything. But I enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, Chris Jones is famous for that. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He's turned tight ends into defensive ends in AC Leonard's case, and he's turned fullbacks into linebackers and offensive linemen into D linemen. I know during his first time here, Eddie Steele was flipping back and forth for a while. He started games on the O-line, started games on the D-line in the same season. So
that's impressive, though. Like, for me, it was offense is just a whole different world. The O-line is just a whole different world. Something that's very hard to grasp, for sure.
Yeah, all right. You mentioned earlier you became a father at a young age.
Yeah.
That makes you grow up in a hurry, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, big time. So I had my first child. I was 19. It was right after high school, and my first daughter, and that was an experience itself for sure. And life comes and it comes fast. So it's hard to say. I was a young father, and I was just trying to make my way. Especially playing sports, that's one thing. Like, trying not to lose sight of your dreams, especially when you have like reality right in front of you. So, I did have to grow up very, very fast.
Yeah, a lot of people feel sorry for you living in a house with all girls, right? Like you don't get much bathroom time.
No.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's tough, and I'm lucky that they're so young right now. But I'm dreading those years that are coming up. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You had a tragedy hit you in the off season. You lost your daughter.
Yeah. So I had my third child was born September 17th during the season, and that was a story I think I've mentioned quite a few times where we played in Sask, and I got dropped off by the team bus by Coach Jones at Grey Nuns at the hospital just in time to have her, and unfortunately 5 months down the road she passed away due to unknown circumstances. They call it SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. So there's not much reasoning the doctors gave us behind it. They said something just like a light switch flips off, and there's nothing you can do. But with that, it kind of brings me peace in my heart, knowing that she's in a better place, and there's no pain, and she didn't suffer anything like that.
Right?
Janae, yeah.
How's everybody doing in the wake of that? It's obviously it's got to be a long process to get over. Well, I would think something you never get over, really.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'd be lying to say we're fine, because we're really not. And it's something I honestly, like, you hear everyone say, like, something no parent should ever do, and it is what it is until it's you. You know what I mean? And then when it is you, it's you really feel those words. But my wife, she's being as strong as she can. She's doing a really, 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 really good job for our other two children. And myself, it's tough. Sometimes honestly, it's tough coming to practice. Or like the emotion of the team. Like you always have to have high energy, or you always have to be in a good mood, especially at practice. You always have to be, on top. And, some days it's just hard not to be, or sometimes it's hard to be that guy, especially myself. Like I've always kind of put myself as one of like the more bubblier guys. Like I'm always happy-go-lucky and stuff like that. So especially for me, it's kind of hard being that guy nowadays, but, it's a process, and we're getting through it slowly but surely.
Certainly wish you peace with that. Obviously, it can't be easy. Tell me about your other two girls.
So they're Jayla. Her name's Jayla, and Drew. So they're both J's. Drew is J-R-U-E. So it's like True with
no hyphens.
No hyphens. No.
Did you think about it or not?
Jamin Jr. Yeah, with the hyphen. That's coming. But no hyphens. But yeah, they're two very, very intelligent girls, and they're each other's best friends. I love them so much, and they're very smart. I don't know how to explain them other than they're pretty much perfect. Like they don't do anything wrong. Like they're really good girls, and you know what? I get compliments on them all the time. I actually brought both of them in one opposite days, back-to-back opposite days, and they both met Jones. And, you know, it was cool to see a side of him that I'd never seen before, because he actually, like, took my kid in, and he was, like, babying her like his own, bringing her food, asking her if she's allergic to stuff. Like, it was a side I've never seen, and I loved it of him. I loved it. It was crazy. Yeah. You know, and he said that they're very well mannered, and, you know, it brought tear to my eye. They're very good girls.
Awesome. That's great. You're a big man. I'm guessing you got a big dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got the biggest, I think. He's probably one of the biggest guys.
What is he?
He's a Great Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a Great Dane.
Yeah.
He's a Great Dane.
Name?
His name is Django, like the movie, Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Very strong animal, very strong guy. So, I had to name him after a strong character in the movie. So, Django, he's big. He's about 6'5". He's my height on his hind legs.
Really?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
We dance. So he'll put his front paws onto my shoulders, and we'll dance all the times.
That's a big dog then.
Yeah, he's big. He's about 160 to 170. Yeah, he's a big boy. So
you guys could be almost 500 between the two of you then, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Darn close.
Oh, you got good shocks in your car?
You know what? He's almost big enough that I'm gonna have to start looking. I have a truck, so I'm gonna have to find something for him in the back of the bed.
Yeah.
To put in the bed, like a little dog cage or something. He's almost too big for the back of the truck, so.
Everybody's in Edmonton too now, right?
Everybody,
Family's here.
my whole family's in Edmonton.
That's important, I guess, especially with what's happened, to have everybody with everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One thing I've noticed, especially even in season, and I tell a lot of guys who have families of their own, is you know, having either, whether it be your girlfriend, your wife, or your kids, and I think the kids thing is more important on father sides. Having them here with you during a season will do so much for your own mental health as a player and stuff like that, and that's what I'm a big advocate for. Within the team, I always try and tell those guys, like, if you have family, like, get them to visit as much as you can, because, like, it'll do a lot for you on the field as it does off the field.
Gets you out of bed on a day off too.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember there was a few months when I was here last year, and I didn't have my family down, and they were still in Calgary, and you know, it's just a different mindset, and you just feel so much more fresh coming to practice when your family's with you. So,
family's important. That's faith, football, family, right?
Yeah, there it is.
Not in that order, but that's what they say. All right, we're going to go to the red zone now, which is 3 questions we ask everybody on the way out of Antler Up. So here we go with Jamin Pelley. Your first CFL game you ever saw?
Oh, geez. It would have been Hamilton and Calgary when Burris was a QB. Henry Burris was the QB. Calgary.
Okay.
Calgary and
both, right?
Yeah. It's Calgary. Oh, he played in Hamilton.
Yeah.
See, I only know him as Calgary guy. So
there you go.
That was probably the later end of his career.
He got traded from Calgary to
Hamilton,
as I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there it is. Yeah. No, he was for Calgary. It was when he was a fan.
Yeah.
Or when he was a player for Calgary. When I was a fan of Calgary, hometown guy. That was the first one I went to. I don't remember the year at all, but I know he was the Q. And I remember after the game, he did one of the things that he's most known for Calgary, and is he hit the center jumbotron. They had that big thing that was hoisted up from each end on McMahon. It was like their speaker in the middle.
Okay,
they took that down.
Yeah.
But he could stand under it on the 50-yard line and throw straight up and hit that. And he's the only guy I've ever heard of or seen do it. So he did that after one of the games. That's one of my greatest memories.
All right, question number 2. Your best football memory. That could be college, could be minor football, could be playing, could be watching, whatever you got. Best football memory, other than Henry Burris throwing the ball straight up.
Okay, we got to say, I have to split it up. I have to do the Vanier for playing experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite playing experience. But then, like, football, where football has brought me in my life, has definitely been the World Junior Championship in China. I played in China for Team Canada, and that was definitely an experience where I seen how far football can bring me. So it was a pretty cool experience.
Tell me about that. What do you remember most about playing football in China?
Winning a gold medal.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. But the culture shock. That was probably the craziest thing. Growing up in Calgary, I ate a lot of like sour lemon chicken and just normal Chinese food that you can get at the mall and stuff. But then when I went to China, food's a little different now. You got like frog eye soup. You got You got like bean Brussels sprouts. Like it was just the weirdest food.
You're not at the food court anymore, right?
No, we're not. Yeah, this isn't your old food court anymore. Not at all. But it was a cool experience, and I enjoyed every moment of that. It was really cool, for sure.
All right, third and final question. Biggest name in your phone?
Biggest name in my phone. Jeez. Jake Serezna. Jake Serezna. King of Edmonton, Jake Serezna.
There you go. I will accept that answer.
Yeah.
J-Man, thanks for your time today, man. I really appreciate it. Good luck to you the rest of the way and with everything on and off the field.
Appreciate it.
All right, that is J-Man Pelley. Whatever platform you listen to Antler Up on, please like, subscribe, and give us a comment and a share as well. Help everyone else find the show. Don't forget, it's the Elks and the Argos Sunday at Commonwealth. We're back again next week with another episode. Thanks for joining us on Antler Up.
Touchdown, Antler Up, Edmonton, touchdown Elks. Taylor Cornelius takes it himself as he got an open